Chapter 13, Question 1 asks what reactants are needed for photosynthesis and respiration. So first, what are these things? Photosynthesis uses light, that's what the photo part means, to synthesize sugar. Uses light to synthesize sugar. And it needs two starting materials. You need carbon dioxide and you need water. The things that plants need. You have to water them and they need carbon dioxide. And from that, they're going to make sugar. We'll talk about that in just a second. And then they're going to give off oxygen. And it's the oxygen that plants give off that we breathe. So they take carbon dioxide and water and they make sugar and oxygen. Now, sugar. Another word for a sugar is a carbohydrate. Carbohydrate, and that was originally called a carbohydrate because when people were first studying them, they noticed that they looked like all the molecules had the ratio of a carbon sticking to a water molecule. Carbon sticking to a water molecule. And every sugar is some ratio of that, CH2O. So for example, glucose, which is blood sugar, has 6 carbons, and then the same ratio, so that's twice as many hydrogens, 12, and then the same number of oxygens, 6. So if you multiply all of those subscripts, the numbers at the bottom, by 6, you'd get C6H12O6. And that is the formula for glucose, which is blood sugar. One of the simplest sugars that plants tend to make. And so that is the sugar that's made by plants in photosynthesis. So this is photosynthesis. And notice here, they really just want the reactants. Now the reactants are everything on the left side of the arrow. So these reactants here are on the left side of the arrow, and for photosynthesis, that's going to be carbon dioxide and water. Those are the reactants for photosynthesis. That's what plants do. Now, respiration is something that animals tend to do more, although it does happen a little bit in plants. Respiration is actually the opposite reaction. Animals take the sugar, gobble it up, breathe in oxygen, and they breathe out carbon dioxide and pee out water. So respiration is the opposite of photosynthesis, the reverse, you could say, of photosynthesis. And the reactants for this are what's on the left side of the arrow: glucose, C6H12O6, and then oxygen. So the reactants for photosynthesis, carbon dioxide and water; the reactants for respiration, glucose, C6H12O6, and oxygen.